Last video I have been asked two questions. One is about why investment is required, how to classify the investor. These are the two questions have been asked. I hope everyone has been answered in your own way. The classification of investor as well as a investment required. What is the requirement of the investment? The very simple answer why investment is required to beat the inflation. In other words, to appreciate the money value. Okay, the investment, the motive behind the investment is to beat the inflation or appreciating a value of the money. What hell you are talking? You may be saying that. What? First explain me about inflation. Then saying that beat the inflation, appreciating a value and all, right? What is the inflation? Inflation is very simple. I can explain you in a basis. For example, 1 year back, okay, you are going to a tea shop where tea cost around 5 rupees. Okay, there was a 5 rupees for a tea the year back. Now, if you are going to same tea shop, he charge 6 rupees for same tea. Okay, for same tea, he is charging a 6 rupees. In the sense, there is a increase in a 1 rupees price of that particular tea. That is called as a inflation. That is called as a inflation. The increasing a price of the commodity. It may be a milk, it may be a vegetables, it may be a edible oils, or it may be a petrol, it may be a education, anything. Whatever you are going to consume, whatever you are going to use, the price of that particular commodity or that particular service or that particular product increase in a over a period of time. In the sense, today it is some price is there, tomorrow it is increased to a higher price for the same quantity, same quality, same product. Then it is called as a inflation. Very simple. Inflation is nothing but increase of the price of the product or service over the period of time. That is called as a inflation. Why it is called as inflation? Because they're very simple. For example, you earned 5 rupees. Okay, last year you earned 5 rupees. You didn't had a tea. On that particular day, it was costing 5 rupees to have a tea, but you said that okay, I will keep this 5 rupees myself in a pocket. Next year I will use to have a tea. Next year you are walking to a same bakery and you are asking for the tea, okay, but he is saying that pay 6 rupees. But you have only 5 rupees in your pocket. That is, you thought that last year it was a 5 rupees, so I can use that 5 rupees for this year for to have a tea. But you are not able to have it, right? That is called as a inflation. In the sense, your money value has been came down. What 5 rupees you had, okay, that will be 5 rupees today, but the worth of that 5 rupees has been comes down. That is called as a inflation. That is a losing a money value due to increase in a price of the product or service. That is called as a inflation. Okay, in simple terms, this is a inflation. Why it is so important in an Indian context? You can see here I have been taken a data for the many countries from Brazil to United States, including India, UK, every the major economies I have been considered here. And we have been taken values from the 2008 to 2018, around 10 years data we have been taken in terms of the inflation. The yearly inflation was there in that particular country, and we have been highlighted here, okay, the India, okay, India inflation with a bold, okay, that you can compare the growth of the inflation, or the how it is changing. Sometime it is 8, sometime it went to 12, again it came down to 2, 2.5, again it is going to 5, near to 5. Okay, this is a change of inflation is common in any of the growing economy. Okay, there is a huge change in compared to the already the developed economy. In a developing economy, the rate of change of this inflation will be high volatility, will be having a higher volatility compared to the other countries. You can check. Okay, Japan has a negative inflation, okay, for this some period of time, and less than 1% there is a inflation. Okay, less than 1% of inflation is there in Japan. Okay, if you compare to the United Kingdom, in UK 2.29, okay, US 2.44. Okay, if you compare among the all the countries, India will be highest. India will be highest in the sense, in a year, for example, yesterday's, okay, previous year 100 rupees, today it will worth around 95 rupees 14 paisa. It already lost around 4 rupees 86 paisa. Okay, it already lost its value, in the sense the worth of 4 rupees, around 5 rupees worth goods you will not be able to procure this year by using that 100 rupees what you have been earned in a last year. That is what you mean by the inflation. And you can think about that, how the inflation in India is higher than comparing to any other developing and developed economies. Okay, this is about inflation and why we need investment to beat this inflation. In the sense, my previous year 100 rupees, earning, what I have been earned 100 rupees has to be give a return higher than the 4.86%, higher than the 4.86%. In the sense, my return from investment should be higher than the inflation. Then only I can say that, okay, I have beaten my inflation. If your earning is less than the inflation, then you can say that I haven't beaten a inflation, so my investments are not worthy. To calculate that one, we in a finance we are saying alpha, calculation of the alpha. For example, here we have been taken last 10-year data, last 12-year data we have been taken. Okay, the inflation, the average yearly inflation has been taken here, and the return given by the equity on that particular year. If you invested in a bond, what return you will be get, and if you are invested in a gold, what return have been got. That has been data you have. Okay, how to compare which was a better in that particular year? To compare that one, we are using a concept called as a calculation of the alpha. Calculation of the alpha. Okay, calculation of the alpha. How to calculate alpha? We have to take a difference of the return from that particular instrument with the inflation. If you are invested in equity, what we have to do? We have to take a difference from the equity with the inflation. If you are invested in a bond, take a difference from the bond with the inflation. If you are invested in a gold, take a difference from the gold, a return of the gold with the inflation in that particular year. For example, if I take a 2019 data, recent data, 2019 data, the inflation was, average inflation was a 3.6%. And equity given a return of 9.69%. So what will be the alpha? We have to take a difference, 9.69%. We have to take a calculator, type 9.69 minus 3.6. Okay, that is what the alpha you have been generated. In the sense, 6.09% higher than the inflation. That is a positive alpha you have been generated. If you compare with a gold, same thing, gold return minus inflation. For the for a gold return minus inflation. For a bond return minus inflation. And you can compare them. Okay, in 2019, gold has given a better alpha compared to the bond and equity. Okay, if you know the return from the real estate, you can consider real estate, how much alpha has been generated by the real estate, or you kept it in a FD, you take what is the return you have been got in a FD, what is the interest they have been paid, interest rate minus you have to do inflation, that will be a alpha you are going to generate through a fixed deposit. Okay, this alpha is very important. Why? If you having a positive alpha means whatever the investment you have been done, it is a worth. Okay, it has some meaning. If you are done a negative, if you have got a negative alpha, in the sense your return is less than the inflation, you can see here in 2008, okay, the inflation was a 8% and you are getting a negative return. Even in a bond also 7%, which is less than the inflation, means you will be generating a negative alpha. Negative alpha is nothing but your investment is not worth. Your investment is not worth. Even here also, investing in equity in 2018 was not a worthy compared to the bond and gold, because it generates a negative alpha. So main reason for the investment is to beat the inflation, and motive is to generate a positive alpha. Alpha is nothing but the return from your investment minus inflation. That is a alpha. Okay, hope everyone understood till this. Next question, it was what are the types of investor we have in a market. Okay, what are the type of the investors we have. Okay, major in India, majorly it has been categorized into 3 categories. Okay, investors are categorized into 3 based on the risk appetite. Risk appetite is nothing but what is the level of risk he is able to take. Okay, how much ability he has to take the risk. Is it a high ability to take a risk? Okay, high is nothing but, okay, he is ready to take a higher risk, then we are calling it as a aggressive investor. For example, he doesn't care about a principal. He doesn't think about, okay, if I lose a principal, it doesn't matter for me. Okay, in such cases, we are calling it as a aggressive investors. Okay, he will wait for a time, in the sense he says that, okay, this year I may got a negative return, but for sure I will wait for another 2 years to get a positive return. Okay, that is an aggressive investor style. He will not be take a tension when there is a negative return on his investment. Moderate investors are like a mediocre. They will take a moderate risk. Okay, they will take a moderate risk. They are categorized as a moderate investors. Okay, they are not be too conservative. They doesn't think that I need to get a always positive return, and either side they will not be accepting the negative return also. They say at least my principal to be protected. Those who are always investing in a insurance can be categorized into the moderate investors. Okay, the one more person is there, they will be calling him as a conservative investor. What conservative investor? He has a low risk appetite, in the sense he doesn't take a risk at all. Okay, he always required a positive return from his investment. He will be very unhappy if you are getting a negative return. Those who are investing in a safe havens like fixed deposits, bonds, where they will be expect a return, in the sense the fixed return they will be expecting. Okay, such investors are called as a conservative investor. Why it is important? If you are going to do a investment, then also you have to categorize which category you are. Okay, and if you are going to do a advisory's job, then also it will be important to understand your client which category he is. Okay, is it he belongs to aggressive category or moderate category or conservative category. Okay, how to get to know that one which category he is? You have to ask couple of questions like which are the instrument you are going to invest. Okay, if he doesn't say the equity, then he will be conservative investor. Okay, if someone say equity also, and he may be saying that in a longer run anyhow I need a positive return, then he comes under a conservative investor. If someone says that okay, no issues, if I lose a capital also no problem, in a longer run I will get it back. Okay, such one who is ready to take a risk of losing a capital for a short period of time, they are comes under a aggressive investor. And I broadly classified into a two category, that is one is a aggressive investor and a conservative investor. Moderate is not exist in a global, only in India they are calling, but I will not be considered moderate investor. It will not be having any significance value in a analysis also. For that reason, we will consider only the aggressive investor, one who ready to take a risk, higher risk, and one who is not at all ready to take a risk is called as a conservative investor, or taking a low risk. In the sense, always he thinks that need a positive return. He will be categorized as a conservative investor. So we need to categorize. If it is a client, we need to categorize our client belongs to which category, and ourselves we are going to invest, then we have to categorize ourselves, we are belongs to which category. Okay, is I am ready to be a aggressive investor, or I can be happy with the conservative side only. So make sure that just analyze yourself and think about that which category you are. Okay, that is a one task. The second task is to differentiate the speculator and investor. In which basis you are differentiating speculator and investor in a market, how you are differentiating them. Okay, these are the two tasks I am leaving you in this particular session. Okay, and this particular data will be available for you. Okay, this particular data will be available for you. End of the video you can download them and you can also analyze them in your own way.